Hello and welcome to another Out of Bounds special. We're going to have another Laker post game tonight. I'm very excited about that. Doesn't look very good with the score winding down in the fourth quarter. The Lakers are definitely going to probably lose this game. But I did see a few bright spots tonight, and I'm hoping to be able to ask a few questions, as it pertains to the game and things like that. Shout out to Big Baby. He's always on the stream. Definitely got to do a show with you. If you can hear me, Big Baby, if you want to do a show later on tonight, let me know. I do got some few things coming up with the Lakers tonight, but I definitely want to get your take on this game. With that being said, Andre Drummond did play tonight. I did see a few bright spots tonight from him. I'm not really panicking, the way the team is looking right now, because it gives us an opportunity to be able to see a lot of different things. Once you see all the guys that are not named LeBron and AD, you're able to see, how they operate without, big superstars. Can they hit shots when it matters and things like that? So the only thing that I'm really concerned with is just hoping that they don't fall too far in the standings. So when AD and LeBron does get back together, I do a lot of heavy lifting prior to the end of the season. Once I do start this post game, if you have any questions that might be on your mind or anything like that, feel free to send them to the comment section. I might pick your question to be able to ask a coach or a player during the post game interview. So it'd be a great opportunity for you to be able to ask that question through me, and I'll be able to ask that question at the podium. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this to my stream. So we'll just wait for the game to be over, and then once the game is over, then the post game will start. And I have the stream involved, the audience involved with the stream. All right. So we're just gonna wait until the actual game is completed, then the post game will start. All right, now we're at 36.4 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It was 106-97. Again, this is live post game. We started a little bit earlier today. I didn't know exactly what time the game was going to be over with, so I just wanted to make sure that I tapped in a little earlier, so I give myself enough time to be able to kind of talk a little bit about the game. Looks like Andre took a fall. He got up kind of gingerly, and they're just gonna. It's a cheap foul. I did notice at the at the closing of the fourth quarter, like with 2 minutes left, Markieff Morris did get ejected from the game. He thought he should have been fouled. I just hope that once the playoffs do start and we're talking about high stakes basketball, hopefully that he can get those emotions in check. Just because I see a lot of this, with him, Montrezl Harrell, and things like that. It's great that we have that enforcer mentality and things like that. We're not letting little things just pass by, but we have to keep our heads when it comes to certain things. When it comes to like just basically trying to keep the guys in check when it comes to their emotions and things like that. Just hopefully that this is not a trend. It looks like a timeout was called with 17.4 seconds left in the fourth quarter. While we're waiting on that, just kind of looking at some of the game stats. I did think that we was going to possibly get this win today, but kind of let the fourth quarter get out of hand a little bit. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're covering the Lakers live post game on the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. KCP had 28 points today. He was the scoring. Can we expect this moving forward from KCP? Jimmy Butler, 26. Andre Drummond, 13 points, 11 rebounds. That's not bad. Just think if they had LeBron, they had AD, that definitely would have been a great stat line for him. For sure. Schroeder had 8 points, 6 rebounds, 14 assists. His scoring kind of took a back seat a little bit this game. This is the finals rematch. This is the first time the Lakers played in Miami this season. Just looking at some of the stat line, Lakers controlled the boards, had the most assists, steals. They was down with the steals. It was 9-12 on the steals. Miami had the steals advantage. Blocks went to Miami. Now the biggest thing is the turnovers. Both teams had high turnovers this game. The Lakers had 22 turnovers. Miami had 20. Field goal percentage wise, Miami took the advantage there. The Lakers had a better free throw percentage. The Miami, of course, with Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, of course, they had the better 3-point percentage in this game. The main priority right now is for the Lakers to get healthy. I mean, I see a lot of bright spots and things like that, but it's very important for this team to get healthy down the stretch. They have the personnel. They have, just about any team that they play, they can match up because they can play big, they can play small. They have enough personnel to be able to change it up a bit. So we have a final score of 110-104. Again, we're just waiting for the post game to start. While we're waiting, my Twitter handle is going to be streaming at the bottom. If you can see at the bottom, it says follow. It has my Twitter handle on there. You can follow me on Twitter. Of course, my YouTube channel is going to be Out of Bounds. Just look me up. I'm going to be on there. Also, I do have a Facebook page for the podcast. If you're not a part of that, just hit the invite button. I accept. While we're waiting on that, we can cover some other teams around the NBA. I always want to do a segment where we're talking about the scores around the league, look at some, few bright spots. I was able to get on last night with the Spurs. I didn't live stream that one last night. However, I was on there with that game. So it looks like the Dallas and Milwaukee game is on the way. Dallas is at 62. Milwaukee is at 58. Looks like they're starting the third quarter. That should be a great matchup. Let's check out the box score for that game. All right, let's check it out. For the Dallas Mavericks, of course, you got Luka and KP. Currently, right now, they're leading the charge with Luka having 18 points. You got KP, he has 15 points. And for the Milwaukee Bucks, you got Bobby Portis chipping in with 12. Brook Lopez has 13 points. Dante DiVincenzo, 12 points. Drew Holiday, 11. And of course, Giannis is inactive for this game, as well as PJ Tucker, and also for the Mavs. We got Willie Cauley-Stein, he's out. Tyler Bay, he's out. Tyrell Terry, he's out for this game as well. The Mavs picked up Nico Melli at the trade deadline, and he's done some really great things for them. They only lost one game since he's been in the rotation, which should be a bright spot for them. They was able to get the win a couple nights ago against Utah, and kind of fell apart the last game. But they got a nice little young core that they can take into the playoffs, and I think that they can possibly get an extra round out of this group. Great take, Vince. If y'all can see that, Vince was saying that the role players are playing great when everyone's healthy, which I think that's a great take on that, because the biggest thing is that whenever those main superstars are out, you have an opportunity to see the other guys play. And the biggest thing that I see with teams, star player goes down, the expectations of winning are very low, and it shouldn't be that way. We should always expect for teams to have the next man up mentality, where teams are, have the depth to be able to contend still. Because right now, if you look at the Lakers roster, it's probably the leanest it's ever been in the last couple of seasons. We're not accustomed to LeBron missing this many games. AD, over the course of his career, he's been injured. A lot of times in New Orleans, he was injured a lot. Last season, he battled a couple injuries as well last season, but he was able to fight through those injuries and also come up big for the Lakers down the stretch and secure the title. The biggest thing that I'm going to be concerned with is what the team is going to look like once the two superstars do come back, because they haven't played together. And I know that once LeBron gets back, rest is a good thing for him. But I just want to see how everything will look, with everyone in their positions, where everybody's going to line up and things like that, defensively and offensively. And I do apologize today. I've been battling a few situations health-wise. So I've been trying to still pump out some content and just making sure that I'm staying consistent with the podcast and things like that. But I haven't been feeling well lately. If you're just tuning in, we're live. We're waiting on the Lakers post-game show to come up. The Lakers did lose tonight to the Miami Heat. Hard-fought game. It was a great game until the fourth quarter came. It just kind of fell apart. 110 to 104 was the final on that game. One game that I was kind of interested to see, how everything looked with Andre Drummond, back. I did see a few bright spots, man. Like, he had 12 boards. That's going to be huge. He had 3 assists, 2 steals. He did turn the ball over 3 times. He had 15 points. That's not bad. I mean, that's what if he can do that consistently, that's a good stat line for me. 5 of 9 from the field. Looks like he's up. Drummond's up. So we're going to pause that.
Hello, Tanisha.
Hey, how are you guys? Hey, Dre.
Hey, how are you?
Great, thanks.
I think we're ready. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Rohan, are you ready? Okay, we're all ready.
All right, we're going to start with Mike Trudell.
Hey, Andre, I want to start just with how the toe felt in your first action since the injury.
You said how it felt?
Yeah, how the toe feel?
It felt good. A little sore, but nothing that's going to hold me back.
A lot of lineups that, of course, haven't been used this season with multiple guys out, Andre, and you coming back, McLemore being put in. What was it that you guys were trying to put together to find ways to score with all of these new players out there?
Yeah, we just try to put the best spot we can out there to, make something happen. We're shorthanded right now. So the guys that played did a hell of a job to help us at least be in the fight for the game. I thought it was a great game overall for us for, not having some of our main guys.
Did you like the competitiveness on the defensive end especially? And I wondered what you noticed from that being in for the full 4 quarters and how that kind of was conveyed by the coaching staff, what they were trying to get there.
Yeah, our defense it held up. We beat ourselves. We turned the ball over a lot down the stretch of the game. And that's what really affected us throughout the rest of that fourth and the end of that third. So we just got to find ways to, not turn it over and not beat ourselves.
Kyle.
Hey, Andre. Just wondering, after that initial experience, what communication-wise do you feel like sort of sticks out to you as where you're still trying to feel your role and your relationship with the other guys at?
Yeah, this being my first real game I played, it felt good being out there. I'm still trying to figure the guys out. I caught myself running into people every now and again, trying to, make the right play to get people open. But, the first game's out the way. I got some film to watch to, see where guys like to be on the floor. And I think it's going to be fun. I think we're going to be fine. Just getting guys back healthy, and we'll be fine.
Dave.
Andre, obviously you have relationships going back with LeBron and AD in different capacities for years. Did it mean anything to you to, I think LeBron shared a photo of all 3 of you sitting together out of bounds the last game, suggesting that kind of you guys are already a team together when they've already won a championship together. You guys haven't even played a game yet, and he's kind of putting you on that that grouping with those 2.
Yeah, it's definitely a good feeling to have that respect from those guys and from the whole team. Just the love and perceived being here has been incredible. So it's a lot of fun for me to be here. Having a great time and learning, and what a better place to be.
And just a random follow-up, what's the explanation of number 2? Why do you wear number 2?
Anthony Davis was number 3, and Kuzma had 0. So those are my 2 favorite numbers. So pick the middle.
Got it.
All right, Bill.
Hey, Andre, was that the KCP that you know from the Detroit days, and what did you make of his game tonight, and what's he need to do to kind of capture that and bring that night in and night out?
Having that relationship with KCP and seeing how he is now from where he was when he got drafted in Detroit is night and day. Defensively, he's still an incredible defender. Shooting wise, he's gotten so much better, and just his confidence off the dribble has been incredible for us. So tonight was a great game for him. Just sucks that we didn't win the game.
Okay, last 3 here. Dan.
Hey, Andre. You guys are in this really unique situation where, you're dealing obviously with a night where you're trying to win a game, but obviously the projection and the 2 guys you have sitting over on the bench. how much is that in your mind on just kind of a daily basis that like where this team is gonna be so different than where it is right now on a nightly basis?
I just have to control what we can control. Those guys are out right now. I got to work with the guys that we have here, and they're more than capable of helping us get wins. Those guys are doing whatever they can to get back as fast as possible. But the guys that are playing to the best of their ability and playing incredible. So they're doing a great job of holding them down.
Jovan?
Hey, Andre. You mentioned your passing in your introductory press conference, and kind of along the lines of Kyle's question, I'm curious, what is that process like for you, kind of figuring out where guys want the ball? And we saw tonight you had 3 assists and some nice kick-out passes, but kind of how do you approach figuring that out?
Just film work. Just watching the game and watching where these guys like to be on the floor. Just reading the play, really, because it changes up every possession. So it's really just reading the play and knowing who I'm playing with.
Last question, Michael Duarte.
Yeah, hey Andre, you mentioned bumping into some players and trying to get acclimated with them. Coach Vogel said that's the goal right now, is to get you as acclimated with the guys as possible. So having played for the Cavs when you were with the Pistons before that, how long do you think it'll take you to get acclimated with the new guys? And then will you have to do that all over again when AD and Bron are back?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just taking it by stride right now. I'm having fun while I'm out there. I'm learning a whole lot while I'm out there, and I'm a smart basketball player. These guys are smart as well too. I don't think it'll take very long for me to get adjusted and really figure out how to get all the engines running.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Dre. Have a good evening.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. I will be back in just a couple minutes with Coach.
Thank you.
If you're just tuning in, this is Out of Bounds, live post game with the Lakers. Right now, we're currently waiting on head coach Frank Vogel to take the podium. This is post game coverage of the Lakers' 110-104 loss to the Miami Heat. This will also complete the series sweep. The Miami Heat did win the first game, and they ended up winning this game, completing the sweep. I have a prepared question for Frank Vogel, but obviously if they get to my question, I'll be able to ask it. If not, then I'll save it for another session. Look at that nice little backdrop. I wish I had that little background. All right, here he comes. Head coach Frank Vogel. And we're going to listen in.
Hello, Tanisha. We are back.
All right. We're going to start off with Mike Trudell.
Hey, Frank, just considering all of the lineups and guys out and such, what was your analysis of the defensive intensity and I guess the mix in with the turnovers that could have had to do with that first thing?
Yeah, very, very proud of the effort and fight and belief that we had in one another, that we could beat this team. The team was in the finals in their building, and our guys competed their tails off, but didn't play well enough. We fouled too much and we turned the basketball over entirely too much. And those are the two, the number one and number two way of beating yourself. And, they're controllable, and we just have to be better in those two areas.
You mentioned a couple of days ago that you had spoken to KCP. I think it was before the Sacramento game about being aggressive. Seemed like you got that tonight. Frank, is that something that you think even LeBron, AD, as they return, that you can get him and try to keep him in that rhythm like that?
Sure. We definitely need it during this stretch, and, he's answering the bell. I'm asking him to be super aggressive, looking to score. I actually literally asked him to score 25 tonight. And until that last three, he had exactly 25 points. And, ended up with 28. So, we want him to be that aggressive. And again, this could be one of those silver lining things where, we get more out of him offensively when those guys come back, when he gets this kind of rhythm.
And then your analysis of Drummond, his first full action, and what you saw on both ends?
Yeah, Drummond was great. He competed. He does what he does, 15, 12, and 26 minutes, 4 offensive boards, and great screener, active hands defensively. Obviously, it's game one. There's a lot to learn still within our system and, on both sides of the ball, learning his teammates. But, a good sort of first game. I guess it's technically second game, but first full game.
Kyle.
Hey, Frank. Is there going to be anything you can do, practice-wise, shoot-around-wise, between now and the Nets game to help those guys, Andre and Ben acclimate, or is it just sort of, hey, here's the film, we'll go over this, we'll go over that, and it's up to you guys?
Yeah, it's mostly going to be on film. It's going to be difficult to get court time between now and really the rest of this trip. So. But our coaching staff does a great job, with moving the needle, getting guys more comfortable, understanding what we're trying to ask of them with the film sessions, and that'll be the case here.
Dave?
Greg, what do you make of Dennis's night tonight? He struggled shooting the ball, distributed a bunch, but also had some turnovers. What did you see out of him tonight?
Yeah, just great effort. He was playing his tail off. Competing at a super high level, and I think he's leading our team with the mindset. I mentioned this about Kuz last week, but the mindset of playing to create for others. And 14 assists, easily could have had 20 points and 14 assists. He had 10 because he missed a couple layups, he missed a couple of good look threes, shots he normally makes. But he just competed his tail off, and we had a stretch during in the first half. I don't know if it was reported, but Alex was pulled in the first half, for a sore knee that they were evaluating. He's fine, but we had to play Dennis almost the whole first half, and he gave us everything he had.
I'm sorry. Last three questions. Bill?
Frank, KCP was so consistent for you guys in the postseason and such a reliable threat from the perimeter. What's been the biggest difference? I guess maybe it's fitting that he had this game against the Heat. But what's been the difference with him this season, if you've seen one? And how much confidence do you have that he can get back to being the night in, night out presence that he was for you guys kind of throughout that bubble run?
Well, the way he's played the last couple of games is a great sign. When a guy goes through struggles, you never sure exactly what is the cause of it. Is it the minutes he's getting or the groups that he's out there with? Sometimes guys just get into mini slumps or whatever. But he came out of the gates with a bang. To start the season for us. Went through a long stretch where we wasn't shooting the ball that well, but still maintained a 40% from three field goal percentage. So he's a guy that I trust. There's going to be some ups and downs with him, and the way he's played the last couple of games, hopefully, build some momentum going forward.
Dan?
Frank, I'm curious. Obviously, without LeBron and Anthony, like, the stretch was always going to be really difficult, and you've pointed out silver linings along the way. On a night-to-night basis, how do you kind of balance like the in-game result with sort of the big picture? Like, are you able to keep that big picture mindset that I know you preached really since the start of training camp?
Well, you always have that in the back of your mind, but in the front of my mind, I'm only thinking about winning the next game. Whatever that takes. That's what really, like, on a 48-hour reset, every 2 days, like, how do we win the next game? During this stretch, we just got to get as many wins as we can. The big picture stuff comes, as a result of giving maximum effort, game in and game out. And so I really don't spend too much time focused on the big picture. I just know that there's going to be silver linings, when we get where we want to be.
Last question, Jovan.
Hey, Frank. Andre had 3 assists tonight, and a couple of those were kick-out passes out of the post. And I'm curious what kind of element that brings to the offense, whereas, a guy like Mark is more so operating in the elbows or above the arc. What does that low post passing kind of do for the offense?
Yeah, that's one of the, when we defined his role when he got here, it's one of the things, that we ask of him is, to make great decisions in the paint, because he's going to draw a crowd. And in particular, this morning we talked about with the Miami Heat, that they swarm the paint as well as any team in the league. And his touches, he's going to have to go quick, or he's going to have a crowd, and if he has a crowd, to throw it out, and find a teammate, find an open man. And he did a good job with that tonight.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yes. Thanks, Frank.
All right, so that was wrapping up Coach Vogel's segment on the post game. I have not been able to ask a question as of yet. It's been like that the last couple times I've been on the post game for the Lakers. But we'll see. Hopefully, I'll be able to get one question in tonight. We have not gotten word who else will be on the live post-game show. While we're waiting, look at some more of the stats for this game. I really want to talk a little bit more about KCP and what he was able to do. He was ultra aggressive today. Coach Vogel did explain that he wanted him to score at least 25 points today. He scored 28. He was 11 to 20 from the field, 55% from the field, which is great. Shot 54% from the 3-point. That'll work. Just hopefully this play stays consistent. You know, he played 39 minutes, 28 points in 39 minutes. That will work. He was the leading scorer on the team. You know, this is what KCP was doing in the bubble. So we're hoping that this will translate into more consistent play from him, because the Lakers are going to need it. With the addition of Ben McLemore, these two can be, you know, great bright spot for the backcourt. Ben ended up playing 17 minutes. He was 1 of 4 from the field. He scored 6 points. I mean, he's still trying to learn some of the plays, I guess. But, you know, once he gets acclimated, he's going to be okay. He missed all 3 of his 3-pointers. I really hate that Markieff Morris was ejected from the game, because he was actually keeping them, you know, kind of afloat in the fourth quarter, and then he gets kicked out and it kind of deflates him. And that happened, you know, I think the last 2 minutes of the fourth, he was ejected because he didn't like the missed foul call, which it was a foul, but you just can't let your emotions, you know, get the best of you, especially in late game situations like that with the game on the line. The team really suffered with the departure and things like that, and it kind of just, you know, done them in. And also with the high number of turnovers that they did have, just a recipe for disaster. You know, both teams turned the ball over a lot. But 9 times out of 10, whenever you have a team that turns the ball over more, they end up losing the basketball game. You definitely want to have to be able to control your controllables and things like that in those situations. You know, those are different things that you can control in those, you know, type of situations. Limiting your turnovers, things like that, fouls, playing smart basketball. Which with guys out, you just have to be a little bit more smarter with the basketball in the time that you have it. Right now, I got this Clippers game on right now against Phoenix. It's a pretty decent matchup. Phoenix has been doing their thing this year. Definitely impressed with the level of play that they've been playing. With the addition of Chris Paul, his team has really been exceeding expectations, in my opinion. I mean, we saw that in the bubble that they was, you know, coming on. I think they didn't lose a game in the bubble. They weren't able to play, you know, do a playing game just because the record was so bad going into the bubble. But they ended up winning all their games in the bubble. And this year, with the addition of Chris Paul, I mean, this team is locked in and poised at that number 2 spot. Like I said, this game just started. It's 32-37. Eighth to go in the second quarter. I just seen Devin Booker just go to the bench. In 12 minutes, Kawhi only has 2 points. Marcus Morris has 3. Zubac 4. PG leading the charge right now with 12. Looks like Jimmy Butler. Not Jimmy Butler. I'm sorry. That was last game. Patrick Beverly played today, or is playing today. They only have only 2 inactive. That's Serge and Jay Scrub. I don't know who that is. But the big name on there is going to be Serge. He's been out for a little bit. And Nader for Phoenix is out as well. Those are the inactives for this game. Looks like the Clippers are getting healthy. I would love to see DeMarcus Cousins get some plays today to see how he looks out there. Clippers has an interesting team. There's been a lot of talk about Devin Booker lately. If you're, listening in the comments section, you want to make some comments about, Devin Booker. Last couple of years, he's been snubbed for the All-Star, and he's been consistent. He's been consistent with scoring, his impact on the game, and things like that. And he's just been not able to, prove himself to none of the doubters that he's an elite NBA player. And he belongs up there with some of the, the big name players. He should make an All-Star team in his own right. He shouldn't be voted in just because of an injury or anything like that. I mean, he's a exceptional basketball player. He's very smart, intelligent with the basketball, can shoot the ball very well. It's just unfortunate that he's not getting the respect that he deserves in the NBA. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're live at the Lakers post-game. Live from the podium. We're looking at the post-game down there. We don't know who is going to be next at the podium, but once we know, we definitely have a prepared question for whoever is going to be next. With tonight's loss, the Lakers dropped to 32-20. Standing wise, let's take a look at what we're looking at in the West. The West is super tight right now. Looks like we got Dennis Schroeder.
Hey, Tanisha, hello.
Hello.
Oh, sorry, Dennis. Dennis, are you good? Okay. We're ready when you're ready.
All right. Dennis, if you're ready, we're going to start off with Mike Trudell.
Hey, Dennis, 14 assists for you and 12 field goal attempts tonight. Just wondered, are you looking more to pass or to make plays given the guys that are out and things along those lines, or was that just what you saw the defense gave you?
Yeah, I mean, just try to, create good shots. And so, moving the ball, try to attack, paint your grades. I think it's good for us, especially when them two are out. And I just, try to look for it early And, Cardboard Pope, when he got hot, and I tried to look for him, Ben McLemore, all the shooters rest, try to, give them positive energy so we get some stops on the defensive end.
Frank had mentioned he really likes the defensive competitiveness for the team, but there were obviously too many mistakes. I wondered if you thought there was anything from a turnover standpoint of what led to those, and why do you think it got to the level that it did?
And they, packing the paint, and I think I was, careless with passes. You gotta do a better job of that, protecting the ball, and I just gotta do better there for sure.
Kyle.
Hey, Dennis, I was just wondering what it was like in the first half when Alex goes to the locker room and THT is obviously suspended and you're kind of the only point guard the team has right now. What was sort of your mentality and that, you can't get any replacement?
I mean, like I always say, whatever it takes kind of mentality, I wasn't even sure if I was playing today. But like I said, I'll be ready. Always prepare myself to play. I would like to sit out games. And when I have to play 48 minutes, I play 48 minutes, So, I mean, we could have won that game. Was too many mistakes on our side. And just got to look forward.
And just as a follow-up, when you say you weren't sure you weren't going to play today, were you wondering if the NBA was going to suspend you too? Is that the question?
Hell no. It's because of my issues, my body, my knee. But it's nothing crazy, nothing to worry about. So I'll play, So I'll be ready, every game. But it's not because of the suspension.
Dan.
Hey, Dennis, sorry, like a door or something slammed. Did you say it was your knee that's been bothering you mostly?
Yeah.
Which one, your right or your left?
Doesn't matter.
I guess how do these losses sit with you, knowing like you said? I mean, obviously you guys are shorthanded, and Frank said I'm really proud of the fight we had, but also knowing that there were so many self-inflicted type of mistakes that probably swung the outcome.
I mean, like I said, it's THT who missing. It's Kyle Kuzma who missing. It's LeBron James who missing. AD who's missing. Did I forget somebody else? Marc Gasol was missing. 5 key pieces for our team, and we still made it a good game. So, like I always say, next man up mentality. We did a lot of, stupid decisions on my side, myself, turnovers. So me, the group, we just gotta do better. And I take that on me, not taking care of the ball. And but yeah, I mean, we gonna be ready for the next game.
Dave.
Dennis, I got 2 of them for you real quick. First off, what's it like playing more minutes with Drummond, and what type of target or target can he be, and what kind of rapport did you have a chance to develop?
I mean, big body, you're helping us for sure to get extra possessions. I think screening-wise, wiping up the defender. So it's going to create he putting a lot of pressure on the rim, obviously. So just going to keep working on that, in games, during games, and try to get ready for the playoffs as well. And I think he had 15 and 12 today, I think. And he's just, tried to get to know everybody. So he's going to be great for us. And, me and him got to build good chemistry on and off the court. So, when playoff comes, everybody is on the same page.
And the other one, quickly,
A game, we got our 2 superstars that's out. And guys just keep going down here and there. It's been an up and down season for us. But we still got to hold it down, and continue to try to get wins and play for each other.
Dave?
Kenny, what do you think of Andre's day? Oh, I know it's not his really debut because he played 13 minutes the other game, but what do you think of his night?
He had a solid night, great night. Great post moves down there. He was rebounding the ball for us, setting great screens. And that's Andre. He came out and he played. He played to his abilities. He did what he's supposed to do.
Dan?
KCP, do you spend any time at all thinking about how this is all going to fit once LeBron and AD are back? I don't know if you saw what LeBron posted on Instagram today, but kind of like this notion that a storm is coming. Like, do you spend any time thinking about how these pieces are all going to fit, or is there not enough time considering you guys are just at like every day?
I mean, you think about it. Just throwing a lineup out there or thinking of a lineup in your head. It's not much time to think about it, but when you do think about it, it looks scary. It's going to be hard, to beat us, when them guys come back. Even though, got to try to figure it out. But I feel like with our 2 leaders coming back, they know how to get everybody in situations, and just to calm everything down, and not speed us up.
Bill?
Hey, KCP. Individually, you've had your ups and downs over the years here. But you had that really consistent stretch during the playoffs, and now you're kind of seem like you're in another one of those where you've had a bunch of really strong games in a row here. What's the key to you putting games together and having these consistent stretches that you've obviously shown you're capable of?
Just start staying aggressive, hunting shots, and playing defense like I always do, just to get my motor going, get out in transition where I'm best at, get some easy layups, maybe transition threes here and there. But just playing my game, and being aggressive with it.
Okay, last 2 questions. We'll go Jovan.
Hey, KCP. Andre had that assist to you on the fast break, and he also had a couple other assists in the half court. I'm just curious, as someone who's familiar with his game, what kind of element does his passing bring to a half court offense, especially from the low post where he's finding cutters and shooters on the weak side?
He's a great passer. Even in the post when you do drop it down to him, he's gonna draw attention. Everybody's looking at the ball. He's a big guy down there, so he can score down there. So when he's looking, before he didn't make his move, he's looking for the cutter or skip pass. If it's not there, then he's going right into his move, and actually putting it in the basket. So he's actually improved on that since the time we've been playing together. And I love it. He's looking to pass the ball before he makes his move. He's looking at everything.
Last question, Kyle Boone.
Just with us, Andre just seems really happy all the time and just has sort of a bouncy sort of energy. Is that what you see in shoot-arounds and on this road trip? And how does that influence the team when you guys are going through a really hard stretch injury-wise?
Yeah, he's always happy and jumping around, joking, playing, but that's Andre, he's a big kid. He likes to joke, have fun, like any of us. We like to laugh and joke as well. So, just him being new, coming over, just jumping right in, enjoys God's company, just being himself, that's good. We just build things faster when guys is like that.
All right, Kenny, thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
All right.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your night.
Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.
That is going to wrap it up for tonight. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. This was a live Lakers post game. Unfortunately, Out of Bounds was not able to ask any podium questions, but we was able to hear live from the Lakers and some of the questions that were posed from the different other analysts and reporters and things like that. We're going to do a lot more of these, so stay tuned. Make sure your notifications is on YouTube. I do post these on Facebook as well, so if you're my Facebook friend or you're in my Facebook group, you're going to get those notifications when I'm going live again. Again, support for the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast does come from Manscaped. Remember, you get that 20% off. You attach the Out of Bounds code to your order. We're probably going to do another Spurs post game here soon, but just look out for that as well. I want to thank everyone for listening. Thank everybody's support. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
If you love the